Okay, welcome back to day 286. No? 288. I looked at the wrong thing. It is 316. Looked at the wrong number. Might be. Also, it took me 11 seconds to realize these were not connected to my laptop and I was not listening to anything. That was pretty humiliating, and I was this close to clicking record right before my realization, and God, I wish I did, because it would have been hilarious. Yeah, I know, and I heard it a few days ago, but I looked up. Apparently, Jamie Lee Curtis's kid came out as trans, so she's a trans woman. And I know she's an adult, she's like 26 or whatever. But, Jamie Lee Curtis was one of those people that, like, I really kind of love the energy of, in a weird, like, I'm like, did I hate her, did I love her, and then I'm like, I think I like her, so I just went with it until I hear something bad. I think it was because she was a very bold personality, like a really loud or almost abrasive personality, which growing up and now obviously women aren't supposed to be like that. So I think it was that, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so I don't know, to hear that she is supportive of her kid, you know, of her daughter being trans, it's a big deal for me. It's really nice. This also continues on to my next topic, which was, I heard Jojo Siwa is dancing in Dancing with the Stars. I don't care about either of them. Never watched Dancing with the Stars, literally never. And Jojo Siwa is a little young for me, but I am supportive of her as like an older LGBT member, in a way. Like, I'm like, yes, I will support you, and if anyone says anything, they're gone, we're done, we're dead. But so anyway, so what happened is, but the other thing is that, like, she's a professional dancer and she's dancing with a professional dancer, and I'm like, she's going to win if it's purely how well they dance, right? Anyways, that's not the point. But she's dancing with her first, in the history of Dancing with the Stars, it is the first same-sex dance. So she'll be dancing with a woman, and that is so major, because for me, growing up, the very first actual trans, like, guy, not character, I've seen some characters, like a character before, like one, but actual person that was trans mask was Chaz Bono. And so the very first time I learned that he was trans, Chaz Bono was trans, I don't know if I misspoke earlier, he just got top surgery, and he was on the beach, and he was happy, and it was this really, really big thing. But for me, it was a really big thing for me. And I remember thinking, oh man, I wish I was a guy so I could transition, because that would be great, but sadly I'm not. And I thought it was something that you instantly knew. You didn't have to discover it, you didn't have to think about it. Somehow you and others knew. I thought it was everyone knew it, kind of thing. So I'm like, oh well, if no one knows it, that means it's not for me. Anyways, that, and then right after that, for me, it seemed very soon after, I think maybe it was the next year, he went on Dancing with the Stars, and I don't know how far he made it, but it was so major. I think it was the first, at least trans guy, if not trans person, but trans guy on Dancing with the Stars, and it was such a big thing for me to see that. So to see the first same-sex couple dancing and give it, it's because it's ballroom dance. You're supposed to dance with your, like, the opposite, which for me, I think it's kind of bullcrap, because for me, with a lot of ballroom dancing in Western culture. Ballroom dancing is highlighting the woman, and I feel like that's unfair for the guy who's dancing with the woman. If the celebrity is the guy, but everyone's of course looking at the more dressed up, the more big turns, big this, big that. You're looking at the girl dancing. It's how the dance is set up, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, the point was, that's so major. Like, that is so amazing to hear. And just having her be supportive, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, to have her be so supportive of her daughter, it's amazing. I haven't done it yet. I kind of think I really want to, but I'm also scared. I really want to rewatch the episode of Cold Case with the first character that was like a trans guy that I've ever saw, and one of the only like, for a very long time, for years, the only trans mask character I even knew, and he was murdered in the show. And obviously with Cold Case, it's a one-off character, the one episode. But I really want to rewatch it, because I remember thinking about it, and it's, I don't know, it's something so much to it. You know, growing up, I really looked up to abrasive, like, women, and then I also looked up to, like, abrasive personality women, and then I also looked up to butch women so heavily. And I was like, oh man, when I grow up, I wish I was a butch woman. But then it didn't seem right, because it felt like I was taking, it was in a weird way, it felt like I was taking a role that wasn't mine. It's like getting an award and you're like, I cheated. You know what I'm saying? It felt guilty when I started identifying as like a butch woman. I know there's he, him, like lesbians, like, but it just wasn't me. Lesbian was never my definition. Butch, just being like a butch woman, was never me. And so when I started to identify, it felt better, because I felt more myself being masculine, but I wasn't being me. So growing up, butch women though were such an idol of mine, and I still obviously love butch women. Like, they're amazing. They're top. Oh yeah, like, wait, I got my little earring in still. I wonder if I'll try to keep it in. I'm scared with a lot of other ones, they rust, so I wonder if this will rust. Anyways, I don't know if you can. Do I look like a butch lesbian right now? thinking, coordinating, thinking. This is what I meant by dangling earrings. Like, anything like long like this. Like, this is very long, but I thought it was punk. But it comes with two, and they're like, put it in one in each ear. No, if I put this in both ears, it's going to look way too feminine. It's already like, well, you only see up here. It just, I don't know. So I have my little safety pin earring in, so that's fun. Anyways, point was that, like, butcher or non-feminine, more masculine, gender non-conforming women really shaped what I could see masculinity as. And like, growing up, where it just wasn't what I grew up as with like my dad or my like the males in my family, the guys in my family, but I looked up to, like, I don't know, it was just something that I remember. Like, my grandmother, obviously, well, not obviously, she is, or I would assume she was straight. She died long ago, and she was married once to my granddad, never again, so we don't know. So I can only assume. But, you know, she never wore skirts, she wore pants, she had a rat tail, she had like 8 piercings, like 8 ear piercings, and stuff like that, where, so I had that to look up to, and my mom would always wear leather jackets, and even her very feminine style still had masculinity in it, but I'm trying to remember there was like a few people that more masculine women that I realized that seeing women be masculine, seeing women break the gender norm made me feel like I could do the same. And growing up, again, I didn't think that you just realize you're trans. It's something that I thought you just knew, so I didn't realize you can realize you're trans. It was like I'm like, oh my god, wait, what? I didn't think that was something you can do. So seeing like women dress more masculinely made me realize that I can do that too, until finally I realized, I'm like, hey, you idiot, you're trans. And obviously not every gender non-conforming woman is trans, duh. But yeah, I don't know, I don't know, you know, it's nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. And I remember watching Gaycation back in the day, back in the day. I definitely talked about this before, with Elliot Page, and he would go around to different parts of the world and talk about the LGBT community, and I just remember him fighting back. Like, you can really tell, like, emotions were like right, like a wall just behind his face, and he was trying to stay calm and composed. And they were talking about trans people, and this person was super transphobic, and he just wanted, he was about to break, and he's like, no, I gotta stay calm, it's okay. And seeing that kind of moment, it was such a, it was so meaningful, because Elliot Page was so meaningful for me as well. Like, his energy, him growing up, just, I don't know, there's something, and, you know, he identified as a lesbian for a very long time, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, something, the way that he wore suits, and, like, things like that, and obviously, just kind of it felt very stagnant to me, but also was seeing him talk about the LGBT community, be an activist for the LGBT community, really helped me step up. And his vibes were just, it seemed pure in a lot of them, and obviously it was really deep in his heart, really pure, like, emotions really meant a lot. So anyways, I'm going on a tangent because I just saw a bunch of people being like, saying things like, I hate trans people, and all trans people are misogynistic, and I'm just like, you know what, instead of talking about all the negative stuff, I'm just like, all this positive stuff for me in the trans community. Like, obviously if I'm misogynistic, call me the hell out, I would never want to be. But the fact that those people will be like, haha, you're not a guy, it's like my dick, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, okay, but I'm not going to deal with all that. You know, who cares what they say about me? I'm going to talk about what makes me happy, which is all this amazing stuff is happening right now. Like, it was all very recent with, I think her name is Rui Guest, Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, and Dancing with the Stars. I'm surprised Dancing with the Stars is so late. I know they had a lot of, you know, LGBT people on the show, but I guess, yeah, ballroom dancing's ballroom dancing. You need one dancer of both genders or whatever. It's I don't know. I was watching somewhere earlier, and there was in the second Danganronpa game, not great. There's like a very pervy character, and he's bisexual, and so it's like, oh wow, so original, because in these kind of games, the pervy character is typically bisexual, because guess what? Now they can be pervy to everyone, and it's like one of those things where it's like, because like, bi panphobia exists, and so with that, it sucks. It really sucks, and you can flip and try to make it a positive, but it's still kind of just like, you're giving, instead of making this character that's pervy bi, you're making bi be pervy by doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so that also really happens in a lot of things where the bi character cheats, or the bisexual character is oversexual, the bi character is different. Just, I don't know, just have a character be bi, you know what I'm saying? Just let them. There's just, you know what I'm saying? Just because someone says that you should doesn't mean you should. It's just such a line that I don't know, it just really sticks out. Like, I just, every time he says that, I don't know why, it's not even that profound out of all the things he said. But it's really funny. It's like that, and this isn't pain, it's torture. What did he say? It's not pain. I watched this literally 288 times. Oh my god. Is it agony? What's the word he uses? I wonder if I can find it by hopping. Okay, I hopped twice. Oh wait. Oh no, this is artwork. I don't know if I want to hop again. Mark really can have good. Yeah, okay, that was pain, this was suffering. So yeah, that 2 lines, that was pain, this is suffering, and just because someone says you can do it, doesn't mean you should do it. Or the 2 lines that I thought were stuck in my head, but apparently once I step away from it, I don't know anymore. My cat is howling. Why? I'll get him in 2 seconds when this video is done. I don't know why those 2 lines really stick out to me. It's like when something just really kind of works. I don't know. What is it if you get 10,000 monkeys typing on a typewriter a million times or whatever? I don't know. A million monkeys on a million typewriters? I don't care. A million times. Eventually one of them will spit out Shakespeare, Eventually Unus Annus will spit out some knowledge or fun quotes. I don't know. You're not supposed to see my hand. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, bye.